Howdy folks, today we're here playing aggressive Rakdos, and this is a deck that did well in the Canadian Regional Championship. That's best 3 format. I basically just took the deck, chopped off the sideboard, playing it here in best of 1, and I thought the idea of the deck was really cool. Basically you have this aggressive red deck, but you're fusing it with the Rakdos deck to give you some of the late game potential that Rakdos deck has. But you're not losing that much aggression. You know, you're dropping your Phoenix chicks and things like that, but you're getting like Blood Tithe Harvesters, Fables, Trespassers, Shelters, cards that are very good. And for these red decks that you originally had, you're dead to Sheltered a lot of the time unless you have the perfect play with Fire, Lightning Strike, draw. Then that's a tough matchup if you get matched with Shelter on the other side. But with this deck, you have Go for the Throats, which really is a nice way to clear out an opposing Sheltered and other problems cards like that, like an Obliterator or a Vindicator. So that's sort of the intent of this deck, is to be still very aggressive. You can still really put your foot on the pedal with Kakazan into Bloodthirsty Adversary or into Blood Tithe Harvester. Into Graveyard Trespasser, and really just put your foot on the pedal and put your opponent to it. But you also have these draws where you can slow down. You can cut down, Go for the Throat, play a slightly more controlling game with the game plan still killing your opponent quickly, but with more options. So I'm going to see if I don't know. I'm interested. The deck took 4th in that Canadian Regional Championship, I believe. So I'm pretty interested to see how it does in the best of 1 ladder. Seems like it could be well suited to play against a lot of the decks that inhabit the ladder. So let's try it out. All right, we're going first, and honestly, this isn't really a fast hand. And I'm a little tempted to mulligan it, but I think we'll try it. Go ahead and pass. Probably abrade most things here so we can Graveyard Trespasser it away, especially if it's an underdog. Yep. Pretty happy to just kill an underdog here and Graveyard Trespasser it. Get it out of that graveyard. Yoink. Not a bad start for us. Now we have the choice between Fable or Sheltered next turn. They have their own Trespasser, which now they cannot hit anything in the yard for. Just our braid, but it's nothing crazy. I think we do want to play the Sheltered here. We want to stay aggressive, so we'll attack. This is bad against exactly another Trespasser, but they're probably blocking because we're on the offensive, but also they have to know that we have the potential to play our own Trespasser. They didn't look like they had an instant speed way to kill the Sheltered there, or else they would have used it potentially. So they do have their own Trespasser. Okay. If we draw a land here, we can Swift Spear plus Kakazan, an untapped land, which is not the case that we drew, but that's okay. With that being the case, I think we want to attack with a Sheltered. Get in and play that Kakazan and this Fable. And I think we can do better than the Swift Spear, so we'll probably just cycle it away, to be honest. Opponent has taken 4 damage for the triggers on Sheltered, and also took 4 damage to the face from Sheltered, so Sheltered is put in the aggressive work, and they do have a lot of Trespassers going on. Okay. Now they can double block the Trespasser. With Trespassers on by Sheltered, rather, which is a way for them to remove the Sheltered if they don't just naturally have a way, but they're gonna... Okay. Say if there's something in the yard, maybe I understand that, but as it is, no. Okay. So that was a pretty good draw. Good to discard the Swift Spear, I believe. Gain some life. And yeah, we're gonna send in here with the Sheltered for sure. If they want to double block, that's fine. Because then we can replay our own Sheltered. Yep, double block, that's fine with us. Kill them both. Replay Sheltered here. Give it a +1/+1 counter, and I think we are going to keep this Sulfur Springens in hand just in case we draw a Blood Tithe Harvester or something to get rid of the land. There we go though. Sheltered, they couldn't kill it, and still good at still wins games if you can't kill it. So there you go. It's going first, and again, this is not really a great hand, but I think we're kind of priced into keeping hands like this. Next turn we get an adversary down, so it looks like we're playing against mono blue. Is it? Okay. Storm Chaser Drake, sure. We get an adversary down, and it's pretty obvious to our opponent that we don't have a removal spell here. Otherwise, you know, very easy Storm Chaser Drake removal spell. Obviously, they would have, you know, gained a card from it being the target of a spell, but okay. The way to kill what we have going on? No. We're drawing 2 lands there is not good. At least with the Fable, we have a way to get rid of 2 of these Sulfur Springs. Either way, not good here. Definitely need to find a removal spell for the Balmor. Preferably unconditional removal spell. It's possible we die this turn, though. They'd have to have a lot of Ancestral Angers, but theoretically it's possible. Yep, Fading Hope's good. Play with Fires are good in that regard as well. They have all the removal spells, sure. Yeah, tapping out for the removal spells. Opponent's gonna get in a huge hit. Doesn't look like they found a land though, which is gonna be nice because now we get to discard all our lands. We're literally only drawing lands right now though. Cut Down was a good one to draw for the Balmor here. Have to use that now. And honestly, I think we have to wait on this Bloodthirsty Adversary to use another removal spell next turn. Reuse this Cut Down. As bad as that seems, to really not do anything else this turn. Like, we could have played a Bloodthirsty Adversary here to block, but we didn't even know they had no, you know, Swiss Spear, and, you know, we're pretending like we have removal up, but, you know, our opponent knows we're pretty low on the removal. And yeah, that's gonna get us, to be honest. Almost. Island, and any spell you can cast with 1 island, like a Consider, kills us. Didn't find it. Graveyard Trespasser. Alrighty, well, it's our only play here. To pay, get the Cut Down back, try to kill the Drake. And I don't think we can attack. We can't die to 1 removal spell here. Didn't have a Play with Fire, because I think they would use that already. So, but they drew 1, okay. Shoot, well, yeah, that didn't turn out well for us, but opponent got there. GG's. Alrighty, opponent goes first. We have a pretty aggressive hand here. I like this. Lead on this Cliffs and the Swiss Spear. Evolve Sleeper, sure. Down to 19. Next turn we have a choice of Go with the Throat or Adversary. They just spend a 2-mana removal spell here. I think, yeah, we're just gonna Adversary this next turn. And their opponent should attack. I don't think there's really any creatures that we would attack with that they would sit back and block, to be honest. So, alright, they find the right decision there. Time for the Adversary. Problem with our opponent being on the lay, though, is that they get to resolve the first Graveyard Trespasser of the game. And that could change how this matchup looks a lot. If they don't have it, then we get to resolve the first one, which is pretty good. Okay, they do Evolve Sleeper, sure. In life of Toshiro Mizawa. And they're going to give it +2/+2? Or gain life? Okay, they're thinking about racing us. Which, honestly, I think we're fine with. Beat this Swiss Spear while we can. Gain that life. We're going to put it down to 14. I guess this should be gaining life with this life of Toshiro Mizawa. I'm not sure, though. They didn't have a Graveyard Trespasser. Really anything good to do in turn 3. So they kept Evolve Sleeper, Go for the Throat. To me, that means they probably have some good 4-drops. So I'm really holding out on this Go for the Throat to get an Obliterator or a Sheldred. Another life, okay. Yep. I feel like if you have a good removal spell, or sorry, a good a good 4-drop there, you play it. So I'm gonna read that they don't have one. I'm probably gonna kill this Evolved Sleeper. And gain the life off of it with the Trespasser. Play the Black Leaf Cliffs. Go ahead and pass. They're gonna flip some of these into 3/3s, which is pretty good. 2/3s, I mean. So they stonewall our 2/2s, but we're still gonna be able to get in there with a Trespasser. We can exile to go for the throw from the yard. If they do indeed have like a Sheldred or a Phyrexian Obliterator here, they really did get us pretty good. Artifact of creature, right? Trespasser's going bye-bye. So yeah, we're gonna keep this Springs in our hands. And yeah, just attack with the Trespasser, I think. So we could use this Play with Fire to scry, but I don't really think that's necessary. I think it's better held like if they play a Sheldred for us to, you know, attack them with the Trespasser, then we'll block it, and for us to Play with Fire one of them. Not sure. Don't think we'll discard to Play with Fire though. Kind of feels like our opponent would have been better served a couple of those times to just gain life instead of go +2/+2. But I guess we are down to 12, and they could theoretically get aggressive with us. They attack with a 2/3. We're, I mean, almost assuredly not blocking though. I'm gonna play a creature. They went to their past their attack step, and now it Gix's commands. Interesting. Okay. Wipes the entire board. Goes to my turn. And now I think this Play with Fire is definitely not as good, so we're gonna get rid of it. Second Fable is not bad, so that way we'll keep the Black Leaf Cliffs again in hand. Go ahead and pass the turn. Discard Black Leaf Cliffs plus whatever else we draw if it's not good. They found a Sheldred, okay. We're gonna go ahead and kill that now before we draw. Swift Spear, huh? How good is Swift Spear here? I don't think it's very good. I think we're just gonna bid them both. Kakazin gives us protection against Invoke Despair here, I guess. So what do they have? What's their last card? Is it pretty good? Invoke, they did Invoke Despair. Okay, so we'll get rid of this Goblin Shaman, this Kakazin. I want to keep the other Fable though. And Harvester was a fantastic draw. And I think, yeah, we just want to copy the Harvester now. So our opponent really gets out of this with a Gix's commands. And if that's the case, then we're going to lose all of our creatures anyway. And we want to get the extra blood to better set us up for future turns. But alrighty, we'll take it. GG's. Alrighty, well, we're going first, and we have a pretty aggressive draw. So we'll see how this rolls out. Swift Spear into Swift Spear Play with Fire. I kind of like how that start looks to me. Way place Swift Spear in your deck. I mean, this card goes far back as as Modern. It does its thing. I might think we're on mono red as well when we lead on double mountain with Swift Spear Play with Fire. Just a hunch. And the Swift Spear, the Fable on turn 3 even will be able to trigger our Swift Spears again, which would be pretty good. But yeah, definitely I feel like we're Play with Firing next turn. Just leaving too much damage at the table to not Play with Fire. See if they have a creature here. If not, we'll Play with Fire their face. They might be considering just killing our Swiss Spear here. I'm not sure. What, could be like an Anvil deck, and they're thinking about playing a Epicure or Voltaic surging the Swiss Spear. I'm not really sure, but I'm not sure what they're on. You know, Black Decklist turn 1, and then think about it. Not sure what those choices could be. But they thought about it too long, so I guess it's Swift Spear time. Damage and Scry and Trespasser. I'll keep Trespasser. The spell we can cast. Opponent passed through the ability to play anything that first turn. Let's see if they don't this time. Okay, they do play a land this time. Do they have anything on their turn 2? They're already down to 13, taking 7 damage. 1 for the Swiss Spear the first time, 6 last turn. We could play with fire and all that jazz. But yeah, as you can see, we have a lot less cards in hand. We've gone through a lot of cards already, and if our opponent has a good way to sweep up the Swiss Spears, they can really claw back into this game. Interesting to see what they have. I don't know if they're just like playing lands and then and then just like passing. I don't know. I have no clue what's going on, to be honest. There's no creatures in the yard, so next turn I think we'll probably be playing this Fable. Don't know if this is Brotherhood's End deck. I really don't know what's going on. Our opponent hasn't done anything, so I'm not sure what's going on over there. But I think we're just gonna curve out, see what happens. I can't believe they played a land and rope twice. I don't even know how to read into that. Okay, but put their opponent down to 9 this turn. If they rope out again, I think it's game, so I don't know. They do have a removal spell in the meantime. Is it a... I don't know what it would be. Go for the throat. I don't know. Not sure at all. The fact that they had a stick on the turn 1 the first time maybe indicates to me that they have like... I don't know. What could they have cast at sorcery speed on turn 1 that let them have a stick? I don't know. Either way, we're getting in for a damage here. Now we have a creature in the yard for this Trespasser. Eventually we get to 5 mana for an adversary and get back that play with fire. Fable can cycle any bad cards we draw. Although right now, our hand's looking pretty good. I think we'd even keep probably any land next turn, to be honest. Would we keep like a Sheldred though, since we can't cast it? I don't know. That's a good question. Might be in Sheldred if we draw it, to be honest. Man, opponent over here is really just leading us through the rope. turn after turn after turn. I don't know what's going on with it. They played a go for the throat. They're down at 11 now. We're gonna play a Trespasser this turn. They might miss a land drop if they just pass through. Like I don't know. I have no clue. Sundown pits their Mardu. Okay. If we lose after they roped us, I'm gonna be very sad. Swamp. Okay, well I think honestly we can do better than Swamp. Takanuma. Same thing, basically. And so we can attack it to treasure this turn, have enough for the adversary next turn. I think, yeah, we'll attack with this Fable here. It's a pretty clear indication to our opponent that we don't have any non-creature spells. Because if we had any way to kill this 2/2, I think it's pretty obvious. Kill the 2/2, get in for 4, bring him down to 7. So our opponent, might be thinking about whether or not they want to block here. Depends on how badly they need a 3rd or like a 5th mana. Like next turn, is it possible they like dump an Atraxa into the yard and reanimate it? It is possible. They're not playing. It'd have to be like a Cruelty of Gix to get there. I guess we'll have to evaluate. Is that like the only way we can lose this game if they? So it is possible now to Bloodthirsty Adversary this play with fire back, but I just feel like that's like just not good enough value. I think we're just talking ourselves into making a bad play at that point. So even if it is the case that they drop an Atraxa, invoke Justice to the back or something. I think, you know, I don't know. There's not a lot you can do about that. Enduring Angel. Okay. Huh. It's an interesting one, certainly. Our opponent's on a little bit of a brew. But it's gonna... It might get us, to be honest. It's honestly not bad here. Gives them hexproof. If they can cast an Enduring Angel, they have another one in hand. That could be tough. So they're playing the Sticky Fingers as a way, and they play like early 1-mana creatures to get treasures going. I think they are going to play an Enduring Angel here, and we might be in trouble. We might have to draw a way to remove it. We have a Braid, we have Go for the Throats. We have some ways to remove it. I think that I could be like happy with our opponent's deck over here. It could be like a cool experience, but like the fact that they just roped us so much just makes me want to beat them up in this match. Like, it makes me want to just obliterate them and just run through, and hopefully they don't just have whatever they need. If they don't have like the exact Enduring Angel with the third, they you know, they found another white mana, and now they have 3 white mana. But we'll see, I guess. I don't know why you would discard it here unless you had multiples. That wouldn't make any sense. I gotta imagine they're gonna be casting it here. Archangel of Wrath. Okay. Killing the Swift Spear. Sure, that's also pretty good. We did draw the Go for the Throat. Wow. Yeah, that's what we're doing for sure. Next turn, we can adversary the Go for the Throat back. And that's why they're in your deck, so you can kill big threats like this that really hamper your ability to win otherwise. I think we're really more scared of the Archangel right now, to be honest. Bloodthirsty Adversary is going to be able to get back, play with fire, or that Go for the Throat, and hopefully we'll be able to get in for lethal after that. They have that another creature in the yard we can get with the Graveyard Trespasser on each side, so, you know, using the reflection to get the Graveyard Trespasser represents 2 damage, and we also have that play with fire, so we have 6 mana, so we have enough mana to do all of that. It just depends on what our opponent does. So they just play the... If they play another Archangel of Wrath, that's not a good line, because I'll still have gained some life and probably have killed a Reflection. They just play the Enduring Angel. It's probably also not that great of a play either, because you want a way to be able to kill the Angelic Enforcer. I don't know. Prying Overseer. Okay, that one's not that good. Okay, so we gotta imagine they have one more removal spell. They can let us untap with this Reflection or not. That's the big question. Okay, so now I think we just Bloodthirsty Adversary, and we also have Cut Down available. So we'll go ahead and do this. We'll Bloodthirsty Adversary on this Go for the Throat. And we also have Cut Down available for the Inspiring Overseer. Should be lethal, because right now this is 7 damage. We have an 8th with the Trespasser. So we can either Go for the Throat or we can play with fire. The only way I could see us getting play with fire is to hit them in the face. And I think just removing a creature here is, you know, represents at least 2 damage. I think it's just better in the long term. Somehow we don't win this turn. So definitely gonna get Go for the Throat. You know, play with fire if they pump a creature or something, could have something weird going on. So we're gonna Go for the Throat, target this Reflection. Cast it on the Reflection. We have a Cut Down up to if they have some shenanigans here. Play the cut down, and now I'm not really sure what they could have. They have a removal spell here, you know, doesn't quite do enough because we still have 5 on, you know, between. Essentially, they need 2 removal spells, but they both need to hit our 3/3s, and that just is. There's no, you know, cards in standard don't do that, and I'll have to take out damage to even get there anyway with the K's of Koilos. So we have an extra damage anyway with this Enduring Ideal I wasn't factoring in. So yeah, I don't think there's any cards in standard that can get them out of what this current predicament has put them in. But opponent, I definitely have the potential for an interesting deck, but come on, you can't just rope me like every turn. I mean, I know, you know, the deck we're playing is maybe not necessarily the most fun deck to play, be on the other side of, you know, with some sort of mono red initially presenting deck, but it is bad form to be just roping or lagging out or whatever is going on the whole game. So alrighty, we'll take our win to the bank, but it doesn't feel good to have the win stretch out so much. But alrighty, GG's, on to the next one. Okay, well, we have a super aggressive draw, so we'll try it. We are on the draw though, but we'll see if the mono red part of the deck can play out fast. Drop a hello. See what else our opponent's up to here. Pass. Ooh, wow. Second Swift Spear into play with fire here is pretty good for me. I'm fine with all this. Do they have a cut down? Doesn't feel like they do, so I'm just gonna do this now. Didn't feel like they have a cut down. I'll keep a go for the throat against mono black for sure. Put them to 14. Underdog, sure, that's fine. Yeah, so we're just gonna exile that with the play with fire. And probably get the harvester going, I mean. Yes. Kind of expect them to just drop a shelter next turn, but if they do, we get to untap and hit them for a lethal amount, I believe, if my math is correct. So that was the intention there. More than a lethal amount for sure. GG's. Wow, that shows the power of the, you know, the aggressive red version of the deck. Like that's a game where if it's straight up against regular mono black, it's gonna be tough if you're not playing the black version of this deck. But since you get access to the go for the throat to clean up the sheltered, and it really changes the dynamic of this matchup. You know, it goes from a matchup where you're not really happy to play mono black if you're mono red, except for with your absolute best draws. And while this draw was very good, the shelter could have presented problems with us, and you know, we had potential to beat it even if our hand was a little bit worse to start, as long as we had that go for the throat to wipe out that first shelter. So yeah, pretty impressed so far, but let's see if it keeps impressing. GG's. All right, we're going first. We are missing a 2-drop pretty glaringly, but there's no way you can. Wow, we didn't even play anything. They're scared to play Rumplay. Maybe they've seen my videos. GG's. All right, well, this is another one of those very aggressive hands, so we'll keep this. I don't play mono red enough to know if you're supposed to lead on the Caucasus or the Swift Spear, but I feel like in the case of the double Swift Spear, you're more incentivized to lead on Swift Spear, Caucasus. Not 100% sure though. Might also depend on the rest of the context of your hand, but we'll see. As it stands right now, we are just planning on getting a big chunk of damage in. Once down to 14, and we are going to look for a way to... I don't know, we basically want a Trespasser. We want some sort of good 3-drop this next turn. Wow. Our hand wasn't even that good to go forward. We had a cut down, but opponent didn't know that, and I guess they had too much mono red in their life lately. I feel that. I feel that, opponent. Sorry. Sorry that I'm on this side of things, but sometimes you have to do some exploring in the format. GG's. All right, well, our mana's gonna be bad all game, but I guess we'll keep. Springs a pass. Next turn, adversary. Yeah, the double soul for Springs draw is a little it's a little tough, but that if you put these pain lands in your deck, you're sort of priced into these games where every now and again you'll just have the world's most painful mana base. So we'll see what they lead off on. Nothing, okay. Don't think we necessarily are too into the play with fire there. Okay, so Seachrome Coast kind of makes me want to play this adversary. Get him over 2 here. Kind of feels like even though we were on the play, we're a little behind the 8 ball from where we should be. Like if we had this Swiss Spear in turn 1, we'd feel a lot better. Alrighty. Adversary coming in again. Do they want to remove it or not? Go for the throat, sure. I think then we'll just take our time and get this Harvester down. It's the most painful Harvester, 2 damage. Our opponent might just win a race if they play reasonable creatures here, to be honest. Let's see what they have. Liliana. Okay, we have a play with fire to clean that up. Or honestly, just a Swift Spear.
You're telling me what you know about the Raven Man.
Probably my opponent I legit consider ticking up. They don't feel the same.
One of your friends has to leave.
And I think, yeah. Play with fire at the Liliana. Play with fire our opponent.
Luck favors the foolish, after all.
Sheldred, huh? Probably good eventually. Can't cast it right now though, but we're going for Trespasser Fable next turn. We're going to transition into a later game against this deck, so we probably do need more powerful threats. Alright, we'll lead on this Fable just to get the Swift Spear pumped up. And they don't have the mana for a Wandering Emperor obviously this turn, so we're going to just swing in unabated. Expecting... Wow, didn't expect a Void Rend, but okay. So they, again, don't have the mana for a...
Heard you needed a hero. Well, here I am. Who's that handsome devil?
Interesting here. So they don't have mana for Wandering Emperor. So we definitely need to be able to kill this Teferi, and that most likely means drawing a removal spell. It looks like they're playing Teferi, so it's just like an Esper Planeswalkers deck. Shoulder is definitely going to be better than Graveyard Trespasser, I would imagine. So, but it is something we can play this turn. I think I am going to ditch both of these. See if we can get a removal spell. Okay. Cycle second. There are the cock is in here, I mean. Because it does 1 damage to creature and planeswalker, but unless we hit exactly second cock is in there, I don't think we were likely to use it. The opponent's probably pretty happily gonna block there. We got a Harvester down, but gotta imagine our opponent is... we could play Fable there, but I like our hand right now. And our opponent keeping that Teferi, I think they're going to be very happy about.
It's nice to see a familiar face.
Gotta imagine there's ways for them to draw cards here. Oh, wow. Okay. So they noticed we didn't have the removal spell last turn, so I think they're fine to just... I think they're going to plus the Teferi this turn if I had to guess. I mean, you could make another token, but yeah. If I were them, I would plus. And puts their Teferi at 5. They have another land, but it's a white land, so it's not going to be like cut down or anything. Another Harvester, okay. So we do have another Blood, but... At this point, honestly, I think we do need to get the Fable down. And our only hope, really, is to Reflection, the Harvester. I'm gonna kill this 4/4. Our opponent's probably gonna bank on the fact that they can hopefully grow the 4/4 more than we can blink the. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we have another Harvester next turn. We can cycle out this Sheldred if we want, but actually I think we will actually do that. Go blue, cycle out this Sheldred. Since we're losing those for good. Okay, found another Sheldred, sure. Yeah, that's pretty good for our opponent, but they did lose their 2/2. And our Fable is going to be able to, with this Harvester, going to be able to take out the Teferi token next turn.
Who's that handsome devil?
And yeah, I think another Sheldred is just not where we want to be. Blackleaf's Cliffs. Sheldred's probably better than that, but we need to land at some point. And I don't think we want to give our opponent the option. I think we're just good to kill the 2/2 here. Play Blackleaf's Cliffs. Pass the turn. And our opponent's really going to need... they're going to need to find a ways to... Oh, they did find a way to kill our Harvester. Kill the Reflection, which is pretty good. That's what they did need. We find a way to kill this 2/2. We're still in business. We just have not found a way to do that so far.
I've got eyes everywhere.
Like an Abrade or go for the throw would go a long way. If they have a removal spell for our Harvester, though, it's rough. I don't know. It's going to be a tough game either way. Fable not hitting anything relevant is not good. We're going to try blooding away this swamp. See what we hit. Abrade, that's pretty good. Alright, we'll attempt to cast this Abrade on the 2/2. Okay, that worked. See if we can get into combat against this Teferi. Okay. Alright, we have a chance now. Reflection can copy the Harvester. We have another Fable next turn. See what they have going on. No way to remove that Reflection as well. It'd be pretty good. Talking Numa to get back Liliana. Make us sacrifice one of these creatures. Could also just get back the Eternal Wanderer. Oh, it's got back to Fairy, okay. So they could not have tapped casted Liliana with how they tapped. A temporary lockdown, yep. And with this, I'm pretty sure you just have you're priced into making the 2/2 if you're the Wandering Emperor deck. Yep.
Try not to. We must protect.
They're gonna pass the turn. We have another Harvester. Wow. I don't necessarily think we want to show that we drew another Harvester. So I think we're just going to get in with this 2/2. Get our treasure. Opponent's not going to block, but that's alright. And maybe they'll block. It's really good for us if they do block. Yep, no block. Harvester's pretty good next turn for this Teferi. See what else they have to accompany it, though.
You know, I've always got time to fight. Knowledge is meant to be shared.
What else do they have? Tapped land, okay. And Bloodthirsty Adversary. So we have a Braid and Play with Fire. I don't think we're going to discard. I think we might just Play with Fire this turn. Yeah, I think that's going to be the play. Just Play with Fire the Teferi. Don't think they can draw a card here.
Time travel is harder than it looks.
And I kind of think they'd gladly... They don't want to trade the 2/2 for my 3/3. Actually, I probably should attack with both, honestly. I think they make this block pretty easily, but I don't think they want to make a block involving this 2/2. Yeah. I think I probably should have attacked with the 2/2 there, but alrighty, let's see what else they have. If they drew a 0 this turn, then our Blood Tithe Harvester can get the 3/3. If they drew a removal spell, it can break up that chain. Then eventually have to deal with infinite Kiki Jikis. Love to see our opponent play a land here. If it's like a Liliana or something, I think they should. Okay, Kaido. So that can make
I got sharp eyes and sharper blades.
a 2/2 that gains and drains. Yep.
But I have friends.
Yeah, it's vigilant, so it's pretty free attack. No blocks from us.
I've outsmarted you this time.
And I don't think our opponent has any reason to get rid of this 3/3. I would not do that. It doesn't seem like a great play. Get rid of their 3/3 here. Get some. Let's let them draw a card, but the fact that it grows every turn, I think, is going to be pretty key for them. I don't know. We'll see. It probably depends on what this last card is, but I don't. Oh wow. Sure. And they're just going to tick up to make it not attack.
That should be enough. Of
Interesting. What's the last card? Looked like it could have been a land. So we're going to transform here. Opponent is thinking about killing our current reflection? I'm not sure. They have something here, obviously, though. And if they have a way to disrupt our thing here, there's definitely a way for us to target the Harvester and kill the Harvester now. They don't, okay. And getting more blood is solid for us. Interesting. I don't know. This has been a tough game. It's probably going to come down to if our opponent draws some really good Planeswalkers. If they draw Gix's Command, if they draw an Eternal Wanderer, would be fantastic. Eternal Wanderer would probably end the game, to be honest. They have a lot of great draws in their deck. We're just trying to kill them as fast as possible. But I think that does mean killing this Kaido. I'm not sure what our opponent could have in their hand at this point. I mean, it could be a Wandering Emperor, I suppose, but yeah, Wandering Emperor. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. Wandering Emperor makes a lot of sense here. Yeah, definitely a tough call. Now, yeah, now after all this happens, I'm reading a Wandering Emperor now. And if they have exactly Wandering Emperor, that is Death Touch, that 2/2 does. It's not legendary, right? No, it's not. Not sure. I mean, it could be warping us. They could just not have anything. I don't know. I think we're going to remove this drone. Resolve that. Attack the 2/2. Oh, okay, they are roping us?
Whatever.
They didn't have anything in hand? Is this the salty rope? I really thought they were contemplating what to do with their Wandering Emperor there. I would, if I were them, I wouldn't start the salty rope yet, because they have definitely draws in their deck that could kill us. Honestly, a temporary lockdown does a lot against us. This Eternal Wanderer does a lot. They might even have a Wrath. So temporary lockdown, Wandering Emperor, Eternal Wanderer all do pretty good work against us, but our opponent seems to be that they have been sent to the Salty Realm. And they're all about roping right now. Which, I get it. I'm playing like this deck, and I had a couple Fables and Blood Ties to really chain to all their Planeswalkers, but Salty Rope never seems like the way to go for me. But it makes me happy when my opponent does it, because it means I got them. What's better than winning? Winning and knowing your opponent is mad that you beat them. Just like knowing I frustrated my opponent with my play and the deck selection and how the match turned out. It's fun. I don't like watching and waiting for my opponent to rope, but I do enjoy knowing that I made them rope. Like it. So I made them mad enough where they had to rope me, which is kind of hilarious in my mind. But alrighty, well, that's another W in the books, and rope or not, W to W. So let's head up to the wrap up. Alrighty, and we're back with aggressive Rakdos, and yeah, the deck was as advertised. It's very good. You're meshing. I think the best parts of mono red: Swift Spear, Kakazan, Play with Fire, Adversary, with the best parts in mono black. The Rakdos package, which are Fable plus Blood Tithe Harvester combo, Sheldred, and Graveyard Trespasser is really good against aggro. We didn't really play against aggro, but it is, kind of an aggro stopper, and it's good in the mirror. Good against Tenacious Underdog, things like that. And premium removal. I think that's another really important aspect. Cut down, I don't know. You could probably play a fourth Play with Fire over the cut down. I think Play with Fire is definitely just a better card with your Swiss Spears. So I think there's definitely some way to play it there. I think you could tweak, even the Braid. You could play Lightning Strike instead to really lean into the aggressive part of the deck even more. But Go for the Throat is really the home run removal spell. It's fantastic. It's the way you can get back against these really unstoppable feeling creatures from the other side of the battlefield. Even an Archangel of Wrath can feel like that as well. I mean, the card's fantastic. And we were able to kill it with Go for the Throat. Sheldred we killed with this Go for the Throat. Phyrexian Obliterator, Phyrexian Vindicator, all those cards where it's like, wow, game is over now. Like Atraxa, even if they reanimated Atraxa, the game is over now unless I can remove this card. And I'm in mono red, so I'm gonna have to cobble like 5 points of burn together to kill this Sheldred. I have to have kept my Play with Fire and a Lightning Strike in hand to have the perfect draw. That sort of gets by the wayside when you have Go for the Throat to solve all those problems. So I really do like this deck building construction. Shout out to I'm sorry I don't have the name. Maybe I'll find the name, put it in the video description. Maybe not, but they came in like 4th in the Canadian regional championships. This was a best of 3 deck. Now I adapted it for best of 1. Basically by just cutting the sideboard. I don't think I literally changed the deck at all. And I think after playing it, and we did pretty well, obviously in the video. After playing it, I think I would cut maybe 1 or 2 of the cut downs, get a Play with Fire, maybe cut the Braid for Lightning Strike, just some minor changes, but to adapt it even more to best of 1. But I think other than that, the deck is extremely well positioned for best of 1. I think having Graveyard Trespasser, having Sheldred against mono red is a really nice spot to be. So you should be a pretty good favorite in that matchup. But you also get a lot of the benefit of the mono red decks where you just run people over sometimes. And I think that's a sweet spot to be. I really, really like this deck construction. If you're trying to rank up as fast as you can, I think this is a good way to do it. And you feel smarter than if you had just played mono red too. There's that side benefit as well. Already. That's enough of me talking to y'all. If you're still watching at this point, drop a like, drop a subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And a comment too. Tell me how you like the deck, how you would change it. But yeah, appreciate you for watching it. It means a lot to me that y'all are out here actually clicking and watching through the whole YouTube video. So I appreciate that. And as always, until next time, wherever you are, whenever you are, have a magical day.